Okay, so I'm Allie from Alice and the Human on Instagram. Today I am going to record some videos with my partner, Kella. Come on in. We're going to talk about, we're going to be talking about our relationship, but also really how that has looked surrounding my autism discovery and my autism diagnosis and autism acceptance.
A lot of autism.
Yeah, so yeah, Kella, do you want to give a little background of how we met?
Yeah, we met via Tinder, and Allie messaged me saying, oh my god, wait, you said, I'm in awe of you. And then I left you on red for 6 months.
Okay, I was also busy for those 6 months. FYI, I had other people I was dating.
I left you on red for 6 months. And then I got into a space where I was just like, I could really just, do the whole damn thing, a relationship, whatever. So I went back through my DMs and I found you and I was just like, oh my god, you're so pretty. How did I forget about you?
And you sent me a corgi video.
So you knew that I like dogs. Yeah, because obviously, Swarley, your pup.
My whole Tinder profile was pretty much me and Swarley.
Exactly. So I was just like, okay, so she's really cute. I can't mess it up. Let me just send her a dog emoji. And I did, and apparently it really worked.
And you didn't make me have any small talk with you. We made a plan for a date.
I hate
and then
small
we
talk.
didn't talk until our date, except the day of our date, we were both really late to it. Somebody was much later than the other person, but
I don't know who
just saying
they were. But.
So that was a really useful thing that I think neurodivergent people have a hard time with in dating is small talk.
Oh yeah, no, I skip it.
I hate that. I always hated that.
I was just like, hey, so I hate small talk. I straight up was like, hey, I hate small talk. Do you want to set up a date and then we'll talk then? And then honestly, that takes the pressure off of a date too.
Yeah, because I don't want to text you. I'd rather speak to you.
If I already talked to you about all of my things, then I'm gonna get to the date and then not have anything to talk to you about.
Yeah.
But it was a really great first date, and we've been together ever since. And
yeah,
I put a ring on it.
You don't. Nobody seeks a Kella. You kind of acquire a Kella, and the Kella never leaves.
That's what my friends say, and my fiance.
Okay, so why, Kella? What do you think, or what do you have to say about how it was for you when I discovered I was autistic? I would probably say that was around December of last year, so almost pretty much a year ago now. Since we're in December, I realized it. I was starting to tell some friends.
Is that when you realized it?
That's what I'm saying. When I first discovered that I was autistic.
But did you discover it before you had... No, you didn't discover it
before
you had
the job in... No. I had my full burnout breakdown, after I discovered it. That was a fueling piece of it. But my diagnosis... So, remember I started working at the hospital, and I was like, oh, I see all these similarities with these kids. We talked about it. I decided, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to tell my parents. I'm not going to tell my friends. People around us just, wouldn't really get it. And then I ended up telling, Brisha and a few of our close friends. I mentioned it to...
those are dogs. Mojo. Swarley.
But yeah, then...
Leave it.
So that was kind of December, February-ish. And then in end of February, beginning of March is when my burnout, breakdown, existential meltdown all kind of came to a head.
I guess that it does
fun.
That storyline does make sense and that timeline makes sense, but for some reason I didn't remember. I guess that it's not you started thinking about that.
I thought about it a long time before I shared it with you.
But also I think it's important to note that
not
during
a long time, but
well, I think it's but I think it's also important to note that December was a critical time when you started mentally and physically started tanking, and there was a lot of symptoms going on, and it presented itself in so many different ways. And it was actually as your partner, it was a really scary time for me because you were every few every few hours you were throwing out something new that might be going on
because I was going through and I remember I was doing a lot of kind of body scans at that time because I was starting to get all those physical symptoms too. Because mentally I felt all over the place. So I would in the morning I would be like, you know, doing something and be like, wow, Kella, you know what I just realized? And then by the afternoon I'd have a completely different affect and a completely different realization, and like,
and it was like, so like you were all at once, it felt to me. You went from a partner who was masking the whole time,
I was so, you know, productive.
Yeah, like you were a different person when we started dating, and it was like not entirely, but like you were in a lot of different aspects.
That's a fair thing to say.
Sorry, our dogs are distracting me just a second.
Yeah, go get Swirls.
Swirly, come here.
If we hold Swirly like a baby and Mojo hangs out in here, I think it'll be okay.
Come on. Okay, good. Yeah, for me, like, because also at the same time that you, like, around the same time that you were discovering that you're autistic, you also got, like, a fibromyalgia diagnosis and stuff. So, like, your body was just, like, exploding. And,
everything was...
And, like, to me...
And I've never in my life had... Granted, a lot of this comes from me not pursuing medical care, I guess, and, like, masking a lot of things and being an, extreme in the sense of working out every day type athlete all through college. But yeah, like, it was so weird because I've always been healthy, right? Like, I've never had a lot of huge health problems or ongoing medications or ongoing conditions that I was aware of for most of my life. So to go from being this, like, overproductive, working 2 jobs, a while, actually, because did I meet you when I was coaching and at the school, or just working
You
at
weren't
the school?
coaching. You would, like, just...
I'd stopped that. But then as soon as I left, the school job was over, I was working in all the rehabs, and then I was also, so I changed from a super, super, super productive type A,
Sporty
seeming, working
person.
out all the time, to
just tanking. It was immediate. It wasn't even just like a gradual phase. It was just like one moment you were here, and then it, like, from my perspective, it was like one moment you were here, and then the next you just like tanked. In like with so many different symptoms, in like physical and mentally, and so like. And your autism presented to me as bipolar. And I'm really familiar with that. Like, I work with kids who have bipolar disorder, and what I was seeing from you were the same symptoms. And so that, like, you know, you were discovering that you're autistic, and that, like, opened a floodgate of like rejecting masking all of a sudden. So I saw, like, all of the things.
But I was rejecting all of that old masking, but I was masking all my new thoughts of, oh, was this what's happening in my head? Oh, is it this? Oh, is it this? Because at that time I looked, it sounded so manic.
It sounded
because
manic.
My brain was like, holy shit, there's so many options I have to explore here. Like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And it's like, I was masking that to a degree. Like, I wasn't sharing everything with you because you would have thought I was... Like, I mean, I didn't even feel sane in my own head in those thoughts and, like, those thought processes for a minute, because I was like, none of this makes sense. Is it because of this? Is this because of this? And, like, what I was sharing with you only made me look more manic.
And it was hard, too, because, like, you know, like, I come from a really trauma-informed background, especially in work. And so, you know, like,
I don't think you mentioned it, Kella, but Kella works in residential psych in the highest level of care in the state of Oregon. So she
with kids,
and so she knows.
And I just you know, I was really scared during that whole time. Like, you know, like it like I had to take on a lot of roles that, you know, we shared and, like, divided equally, and roles that, like, you used to be such a type A person. Like, you did so many things, and so all of a sudden...
I pretended to be a type A person.
Yeah. But all of a sudden, like, I really had to step up as your partner, and it was so heartbreaking to worry that, like that you were... You know, like that,
and we had only, that was, so if we're saying all that really started in, like, December, February, right? We had only been living together since August. So we've been living together August, September, October, November, and then December, which is when we got Mojo with a 2-day notice, and then everything exploded, and then COVID on top of all of it, which made it
COVID,
so hard to access.
And, like, I'm not, like, and you didn't leave the house.
I've been home since the end of February.
But you really didn't leave the house for like months. So it was me working and like
and
trying to figure you out. And, you know, like I remember you'd always be like, don't look at me like that. Because I'd look at you like with so much concern in my eyes and just like.
And I could see
and I was
what
scared.
you were thinking. I was also half thinking it. And I was like, but it's not. Like I was also seeing, you know, those warning signs of mania and things, and like I saw them in myself. I was perfectly aware of it, but I didn't want to.
Charlie's driving me crazy.
Yeah,
Charlie. I'm just gonna capture him.
Yeah, but like I knew that I was presenting as manic and all of those things, but I knew that was a better alternative to talking about all of the autism related and, you know, PTSD stuff that I was kind of going through from growing up not knowing I was autistic and going through like, oh, this happened because of this, or this is why this is. And I was really sorting through all of those things in a way that I weren't even complete coherent thoughts in my own head. So yeah, everything that was coming off to you was manic. And I was like, well, this is better than sharing what's actually going on in my head, like for my own safety mechanisms. But yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, I was, and to be honest, like I was scared of you having an autism diagnosis. Like I never told you,
and I knew that because I had such a different experience with autism and understanding of it,
and like but I do have an understanding from my work.
Yeah,
but just like, you know, it's one thing to, you know, work with that population, and then another thing to like accept that in, you know, either yourself or your partner. Like I didn't vocalize it to you, but
and I knew that.
I know you did, but like it was just like
I had the same thoughts.
I know you did. It was just like I was searching for anything else, you know.
And I think that is exactly what so many autistic people are met with, and that's what a lot of my family members and some of our other close friends kind of came up with too. And like that's, you know, a normal part of like a grieving process that is like adjusting.
It was a huge grieving process.
Yeah, and for me too. And I think that bargaining stage and denial stage kind of interchange with like, well, it can't be autism because that doesn't make sense, and that would imply that X, Y, and Z things that none of us want to handle are true. And so something like bipolar or something else, you know,
honestly, it would have been the same.
Which,
but
that honestly discredit, like, both things are valid and real things,
and hard to come to terms with.
Yeah.
But you know, like, with that saying, like, you know, obviously we went through that grieving period, and we came out stronger because of it. Like, you know, it's like an autism diagnosis means that you have to change your life. Like, nothing's ever the same.
Yeah.
Like, you have to rethink things, like how I enter conversations with you, how you
get my attention.
Yeah, which is really hard because I have ADHD, so I come in like, bah! And you're just like, oh my god, I am so overwhelmed right now. Like, go away. So like, yeah, it was an adjustment period. But I love that you're autistic. You know, like it's who you are. It's like the things like, you know, everything that I love about you, you know, so much of it stems from you being autistic, and you being autistic complements me having ADHD super well. Like, we're both neurodivergent. We think in a lot of ways the same way.
Interrupt each other all the time, and we can like keep our train of thought and just kind of go with it and talk over each other, and then we're both like, yeah. I find that helpful because, oh my god, I can't not interrupt people.
I also can't not interrupt.
And I can't not I can't not say something that I want to say.
No, you cannot.
Okay, so I feel like we actually have covered the majority of what we wanted to talk about in this video. What else do you have to say, Kella?
Just that it's been incredible to watch you be on this journey of self-discovery. It's only been a few short months that since you've realized that you are autistic. It hasn't even been a full year.
I know. I mean, I guess right now it's pretty much a year, right?
December,
I don't think. Yeah, it was December because
I keep on forgetting that. It's December. So a full year now. But you know, like, it's just watching you come into your own, like, understanding autism with you and what that means, like, as a partner, and also just like you know, seeing you flourish in this community and finding, you know, your place, where like, and watching you just, you know, figure yourself out without masking. Like, you don't mask anymore.
No.
And I'm like, I love getting to figure out how to support you,
and you
not
provide
masking.
such a good, I don't know if buffer is the right word, but like buffer for that change when we hang out with friends and family, or like, I mean, pretty much FaceTime right now, but you know, when we interact with people that are so used to our dynamic, how it used to be and how I used to be, Kella is so good at kind of bridging that gap and prefacing things to people that
taking on the small talk.
Yeah, that, and like sometimes I love small talk. I'm obviously super social, but you know, sometimes I just don't care. But yeah, and it's like navigating what, in the beginning, sometimes she would say things like, one day she told me I was perseverating on something, and I was like, no, do not tell me what I'm doing, ask me what I'm doing. And so it's like, you know, we figure out those things as we go, and Kella's really, really, really great at helping the other people in our lives understand that when I'm not necessarily up to the task, or when I'm just kind of like, you know, some days when I'm feeling really sick or not up to things, Kella has had to take on a lot, and I think she's done it pretty well. So I'm excited for us to make some more videos and kind of chat more about this, but I think this is a good start right now for this initial chat, and then maybe next time we'll do a live on Instagram so we can ask some or answer some more questions in real time.
That scares me. I like editing in case I say something weird.
Oh, but it's just so cute when we have Swarly. Okay, that's it for this first one.
Bye.